Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Ladies and gentlemen, silver stackers across the world, this is your last chance to enter my 45,000 subscriber silver giveaway. I'm going to be announcing the winner tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. It's going to be a premiered video. We're all going to hang out live in the chat. We're all going to see who wins. Hopefully it's you. May the luckiest stacker win. But if you haven't entered yet, you better go do it now because the time is definitely ticking and you don't want to miss this giveaway. So make sure you're subscribed, turn on post notifications, and go enter that freaking giveaway. Who wouldn't want a chance to get some free silver shipped straight to their front doorstep? I know I would. So yeah, it's going to be a great time. Now, I found this article talking about the dangers of silver investing. And it's interesting because silver is one of those weird investments where you're putting you're transferring fake money into real money. So there's really no danger to it, but you still can make bad purchases. You still can get ripped off, right? You still can make a lot of mistakes. So I can get the perspective that she's trying to come from, Stephanie Ferris, who wrote this, but I still want to see what she has to say. I want to dissect this stuff. You guys know me. I like to break down stuff, look at both sides of the coin, and I just want to see what she's trying to portray, the point she's trying to get across. So let's do that. The link to this article will be in the description. So what are the dangers of silver investment? Investing can be risky no matter which route you choose. For decades, some have said silver and gold are safe investments since their value will surely hold no matter what happens to the economy. Unfortunately, there is no 100% guarantee safe investment. However, you may find it a less risky investment than other commodities. And yes, I mean, the only reason I agree is because she said there's no 100% guarantee. And that's true. I mean, for 5,000 years, gold and silver have held their value. And, you know, the chance of them losing their value randomly, because it would be random since silver and gold, especially silver, is such a main component to make the world go round for its industrial uses and even monetary. I mean, gold and silver aren't going anywhere. They've been money since the beginning of man, and that's for a reason. It's not just because it's shiny. Silver isn't valuable just because it's shiny, just because it looks cool. No, silver is the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity and electricity, even light sensitivity. There's a reason why this stuff is so valuable and so highly sought after. So anyways, I like that she does say it's definitely a less risky investment than other commodities, right? It's called a safe haven because it's safe. When you don't trust banks, when you don't trust governments, when you need somewhere to store your wealth and make sure that you know it's secure, you go to gold and silver. So here's a tip, she says. The main dangers of investing in silver are that you could physically lose items like silver coins and bars that value decline with changes in the market. So she's saying that you can physically lose, so you can get your coins stolen, right? And I would rather the coins get stolen from my own possession than my coins get stolen digitally. You know what I'm saying? If your money's online and you can't hold it and it's some third party vault or it's not even real silver anywhere, it's just, you know, on a contract with the SOE or something, that I would rather own it. And if someone's trying to take my silver, they have to come break down my front doorstep. You know what I'm saying? If you can't hold it, you don't own it. And if it's on some screen and you're looking at a number on a screen, that's not your silver. It's essentially yours. They're telling you it's yours, but if you wanted to, it's not like that one coin or those 10 ounces or those 100 ounces that says it's yours or actually sitting in a vault somewhere. No. That's not a reality, and we've talked about that. Every ounce of silver is 100 times bought over. So every ounce of silver you own, 100 other people essentially own that digitally on the paper market. So I also see that she says the bars and coins can decline with changes in the market, and yes, that's bullion. Bullion is pegged to spot price. So if spot price is $28, then your American Eagles are going to be worth around $28. And the only danger in that is if you don't have other types of semi-numismatic coins or high premium silver, then you're pegged to spot price. So in 30 years from now, I'm not saying this would happen, but essentially this could happen. In 30 years from now, if spot price is still $28, then your stack will literally have appreciated $0 in profit. If you bought American Eagles now at $28 and spot price is still $28 30 years from now, then you have not made a single penny. Not saying no, the likelihood of spot price staying $28 in 30 years is very unlikely, but you get what I'm saying. Now, if you have coins like pandas, kookaburras, some high premium silver, the design changes every year, lower mintage numbers, then in 30 years, those coins will have 10 times their value. And that's why you need to diversify into bullion type coins, but also some coins that have collectible value, just to ensure that if spot price does stay low, at least your stack is still making profits. So here's some silver risk factors. The value of silver comes from its demand. When industries need silver for production, it becomes a hot commodity. However, if industries tend to be relying on other materials, silver's value will drop. The misconception is that silver isn't influenced by market conditions when it's as vulnerable as many other assets. One of the biggest dangers of silver is that price fluctuations can be less predictable than other commodities, which I do agree with, but let's break down this first part she's talking about. So she's saying it's a hot commodity when industries need it. And we know moving forwards that we're going to need a lot, and I mean a lot of silver with the Green New Deal, with photovoltaics, which are in solar panels, with electric vehicles, and every automobile company going to electric vehicles by like 2030, with silver lithium ion batteries, with the amount of 5G towers, with everything. Silver is going to be needed more than ever, more than we've ever seen. It's one of the main components in gadgets, in technology, and we're advancing in technology at astonishing paces. So yes, we're going to need a lot more silver. So she's reassuring us that, yeah, when we need silver, when they need it for production, and especially when the supply is low, it's gonna push the price up. Low supply, high demand pushes the price up. So global demand for silver can influence its value, and if your portfolio includes silver, you may not be as easily able to predict what's happening, especially outside of your own country. This can lead to surprise losses. And that's why I try to update you guys on a global scale of what's happening to the markets, what's happening in these other economies, Mexico, Peru, Chile, some of the largest silver producers, how hard they got hit by the pandemic, what their production numbers are looking like. All that stuff does matter about the bigger picture and what affects the price of silver. So I'm definitely not going to be as close-minded as just talking about the United States. So investing in silver. When you ask if investing in silver is a good idea, often the answer depends on how silver is performing at the time. Working in silver's favor is the fact that it has a store value based on the fact that there's a limited supply of it in the world. With anything finite, having silver on hand can pay off down the road when it's in demand. And I hate this. I mean, she's so right, but I hate this. I hate that people need validation. That if the price of silver is low, let's say silver dropped to $15 over the next couple months, and someone brought up silver, they would say, oh, stay away from that. It's a terrible investment. It's a bad investment. When really, that's the perfect time for that person to get into it. But if that person was to ask someone if they should, that person would tell them no, when actually that is the perfect time for them to get into it because it's low. Buy low, sell high. If you don't understand what gives something value, you shouldn't be investing into it anyways. If you understand silver's values and you would understand if it's $15, then that is the time you should be getting into it. So before you ask people what you should do, research these things and then make that choice for your own self, right? Because if silver hit $50 tomorrow, and that same person asked someone if they should get into silver, I bet that person would tell them yes, when that's actually not the right time. It's too late. Most people buy high and sell low. It's supposed to be buy low, sell high. It's not buy high, hope it goes higher. Buy it before the curve, buy it when it's still undervalued, which silver is still extremely undervalued, and then you hold it. I don't know what's so confusing about that. So, however, there are a lot of questions investors have when getting started. Questions like which country has the best silver, highlight just how much there is to learn before you put a dime into it, which is a good point. The silver market has been very volatile in recent years, so it's important you know that going in and adjusting your strategy to compensate for it. That is really that's a really good point. You guys know I always talk about adjusting and adapting. Adjusting and adapting are so important because times are changing. What affected the price of silver yesterday isn't the same as today and won't be the same tomorrow. So we're going to have to keep adjusting. Types of silver investments. When you think of silver investment, you probably picture coins, but there are two major ways investing in silver. One, you purchase the actual silver, and then you can also go to the ETFs and all that, which I'm not going to talk about. Risk of physical loss. In addition to fluctuating prices, put yourself at risk in other ways when you purchase silver coins or bars. Takes you out of the financial system, you'll still be affected when the economy tanks and silver's price drops. With any investment, you'll be affected if you have plenty of years to enjoy long-term gains. Of course, perhaps the biggest risk is you could lose or damage it. And I like that she mentioned the second part. This is actually really important. Everyone probably stores their silver somewhere very secure, tucked away. No one's going to find it or nobody can get to it. But have you ever thought about your own self messing your silver up, damaging it? It would be so terrible if someone put in all of the time, the money, the energy, the hours of watching YouTube videos and learning about silver, but the reason they didn't profit or the reason that they lost money is because they didn't store it properly. Are you using silica gel packs, tarnish strips, dehumidifiers, low moisture areas? Are you wearing gloves? Do you have coin capsules? All of that matters, especially if you have high premium silver. If you're just buying bars or American Eagles, not really. But if you're someone like me that does like higher premium stuff, semi-numismatic stuff, then you have to take care of it because you could be the thing that rips yourself off, not someone breaking in your house, nothing of that nature. It could be your own self. So anyways, what is hedging? Or actually, I want to keep on this part because she does bring up another point, which is you could put it in a safety deposit box, but I actually just made a video about that about 3 or 4 days ago. The thumbnail is literally say a guy holding silver, and it's like a safety deposit box with silver in it. There's like an X through it, and I don't agree with safety deposit boxes unless that's like your only option, unless you live somewhere very unsafe, or you don't, or maybe you live with a lot of people, a lot of roommates, and you don't have anywhere safe to put your silver or hide it. Because at the end of the day, the whole point of investing in a silver is that it's ours, and if you can't hold it, you don't own it. And yes, it's better than an SL, the PSLV or SLV or whatever, but if the banks close down and your silver's in that safety deposit box, then what are you going to do? If it's a bank holiday or if there's an emergency, that might not always be the best solution unless, like I said, unless that's the next best thing you have. So what is hedging? Silver is used as something called a hedge against inflation, which essentially means it's a safe way to protect yourself as you're investing. You may feel vulnerable as you look at your portfolio, especially if experts are predicting a downturn. Hedging can be a form of insurance against the risk you feel you're taking with other items in your portfolio. You'll see hedging used as a strategy by professional brokers as they help build your portfolio. They'll look at safer investments to offset the higher risk items they choose. The theory is that if things go wrong, you have some items in your portfolio that may be gaining or holding their value help produce your losses. And yes, silver is basically a hedge against inflation. That's one reason people start stacking, but there's several reasons. So gold versus silver. This is This is a pretty good topic. I just actually made a video yesterday comparing gold and Bitcoin. Actually, that video is today. Sorry, I recorded that gold versus Bitcoin video last night. But yeah, so the video I posted right before this, I'm comparing gold and Bitcoin, and it was a great video. I highly recommend it, especially if you invest in both or if you're interested in Bitcoin. But if you're weighing silver against gold as an investment strategy, it's important to note that silver tends to fluctuate in price more than gold. I call it gold on steroids. It's a more extreme, more dramatic version of gold. If gold's going to rise 10%, silver's going to rise 15%. But it's also for the worse. If gold's going to drop 10%, silver's going to drop 15%. So you have to be careful. There's more opportunity, but also more risk. So metal-based commodities are based on demand. So you'll likely find that the value of your investment rallies or relies heavily on international demand over years. Gold tends to be less affected by supply and demand, and that's because it's a much bigger market. So the price of silver versus gold, you guys know the gold to silver ratio, it's around 68-1 right now. Still has a lot of room to run though. And there's another thing that I did want to bring up is that most gold is recycled. So the amount of gold that gets dug up is going to stay in circulation, but the silver that gets dug up is getting thrown away because it's used so much in electronics, and nobody's scrapping silver out of electronics because it's not profitable. They would do that with gold, but not with silver. So when it comes to silver supply or production, it's diminishing, especially since most silver is found as a byproduct. They find it by accident. Before putting your money into silver, it's important to beware that other safe options, or of the other safe options. Probably the safest place you'll still enjoy is certificate of deposit, which I don't agree with any of that. So saving for a disaster, one of the biggest draws to metals is a risk-averse investment that has to do with protection against market crash. The thinking is that if cash has no value, silver and gold will. So you can always trade it for goods. This, of course, only works if your investment in silver is coins and bars. And yes, that's another reason why a lot of people use or invest in the silver, the SHTF preppers, right? Many invest in the silver and gold stocks, though, with logic, and the metal tends to fare well during stock market crashes. And while this historically been true, that same improved performance doesn't apply to silver. Silver is used heavily in the industrial sector, which makes it more likely to be tied to the performance of the greater economy. And I call silver a win-win situation. Whether the economy is in good shape or bad shape, silver is going to come out on top. It is. Gold only benefits when things are going bad. Silver, though, since it's also an industrial metal like this paragraph just says, it also benefits when things are going good. So it's a win-win situation. There's a reason why my name is Silver Slayer, not Gold Slayer. So, anyways, there's one last thing I wanted to say. And for the SHTF preppers, like she was saying right here, how it's you'll always be able to trade it for goods and stuff. If you are someone that's doing this or investing more from that catastrophic mind state, and I don't mean to put it in like a tinfoil hat, I mean like someone just trying to prepare, junk silver is definitely the way to go. Junk silver, because it's low denomination. 10th ounce, mercury dime is equivalent to a 10th ounce round. When you have barber quarters or mercury dimes or barber half dollars or barber dimes or barber quarters or whatever it is, that is fractional. It's called fractional silver. But if you have 10th ounce rounds, if you're trying to trade with someone, and especially if they're not a silver stacker, they're not going to know what sunshine mint is. They're not going to know what Volcambi is. So when you have government-backed silver that was legal tender, it's definitely going to help that other person reassure that it is real. But not only that, it's fractional. If you only have 1 ounce coins and you're trying to trade or barter with someone, what if you're trying to barter with someone, but what they have isn't worth an ounce, a full ounce? Are you going to take a chainsaw to your coin, cut it in half, or cut it in fourths? No. Fractional silver works just like change nowadays. If you go to the store and something's 55 cents or 75 cents and all you have are dollar bills, what are you going to do? You need change, and that's what fractional silver is, especially for trading or bartering. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Like I said, the link to this article will be in the description. Highly recommend you go enter my 45,000 subscriber giveaway. Remember, the winner announced will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. make sure you go enter. Make sure you go enter. Is anyone watching the Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul fight tonight? I bought it, the PPV. Let me know if you're going to watch that, and also let me know who's going to win. Do you think Floyd's going to win, or do you think Logan's going to win? I don't know why, but I feel like Logan Paul's going to win. I don't know why. Things are so crazy right now that why not make it crazier? I really have this gut feeling that Logan's going to win. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Go to slayersmerch.com for AG47 apparel. This is Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.